For the entire month, we have been speaking on the reappearance of Christ. And we end our series today, and I repeat the three ideas we shared with you for you to determine what you believe. How do you expect the reappearance of the Christ? We've heard many disciplines, many spiritual disciplines expect Jesus, who put on the Christ, to return as he did before in some remote town or village. We shared first of the three ideas that the reappearance of the Christ can very well be physical in the body of some political leader, some entertainer, some beggar, some poet, or any of the many occupations we have on the planet today. Secondly, we shared that the Christ may come as an overshadowing of those who have prepared their consciousness to receive the influence of love telepathically. Third and last, we shared that the Christ may come as an outpouring of spiritual energy to uplift and enlighten the human consciousness towards love and brotherhood. Again, I ask, what do you believe? As I prepared this message during the month, I was thinking about those ideas. What do I really believe? Do I really believe that Jesus will come as a man, or the Christ will come as a man? Do I believe that somehow the Christ would somehow appear over the world and pour in the essence of love, as we said here? Or do I believe that I personally will be in touch with this Christ consciousness, or this Christ energy? What do you believe? Doesn't matter what I believe. But what I believe is that the Christ can manifest in all three ways. And whatever level one can receive that energy, it begins to work at that level of consciousness. In religious science, we are taught that consciousness is all there is. So, what is consciousness? Consciousness is an accumulation of everything that I've ever thought, I've ever felt, I've ever said, I've ever done. And when I think about my existence as a spiritual being on the planet, and that's what the mystic says, some 6 billion years ago, it is an accumulation of all of my action, my thoughts, my beliefs. So, we say, well, I don't know what I believed 6 billion years ago. I don't know what I thought. I don't know what I did. Well, we have history to tell us what we did. And fast forward to today. The repetition of your behavior patterns tells you what you've been doing for the last 6 billion years. Today, it's time to stop. It's time to stop repeating the same old patterns. How many times have I said, I keep doing the same thing. I keep doing the same thing. Why can't I do something different? And it is because I've not changed my consciousness. I've not poured enough love energy in it. As the song said, learning to love yourself. When we love ourselves enough, then we find ourselves coming into new ideas, new behavior patterns. That's what love does. Dr. Holmes said it's subtle, but it works. And for many of us, because we can't see it, we don't think it's working. Well, I'll tell you, you cannot come here each Sunday, or whenever you come to class, or to pick up a book, an inspirational book, or the textbook. You cannot do it. Keep doing it over a period of time and nothing happens. So I work with my belief in preparation for the inflow of the Christ energy to begin working in my life. Today was the first time that I missed since 1986 of gathering with someone or two on the beach to say the World Peace Prayer, which Randolph Price instituted for all metaphysicians. Sort of glad I did when I woke up and found out how cold it was out there this morning. I just thought it was a bit much. But I still felt the energy. I still felt the need to pray. I still felt that need to join in with that consciousness throughout the world to say that one prayer. And finding the Christ and bringing forth that part of our consciousness to live at the level of being where we want to live. Then I thought perhaps our attributes, the 7 attributes of God, would best explain how we develop the consciousness for the reappearance of the Christ. Let's look at the first one. First attribute of spirit, and that is love. When I think of the song we sang this morning, it was a bit baffling for me when I first heard my teacher say, well, you got to love yourself. You got to tell yourself you love yourself. You got to love yourself, Alma. You just don't love yourself enough. And I didn't know what she was talking about. I was feeding myself good food. I was wearing good clothes. I thought I was taking care of myself. But you see, I didn't understand who myself was. I thought I was this person called Alma. I did not know that I was greater than Alma. That I simply put on Alma in order to express the attributes of my spirit, to express divine love. Love is all we believe. We don't believe anything else. Regardless to what we say, we do not believe it. As spiritual beings, and that's what we are, and when we begin to own our spirituality, when we begin to own that we are spiritual beings and live from that level, then this subtle energy will flow through us, out through us, healing everyone around us. Our beliefs have been covered up by our unbelief for 6 billion years. And the scripture reads, when Jesus went to heal a man, he said, do you believe that you can be healed? He said, I believe, Lord, help my unbelief. And most of us as clergy do not address unbelief. And I'm just bold enough to do it. Unbelief is just simply the opposite of what we believe. To experience the 7 attributes. An attribute is defined as an inherent, essential characteristic of human. And that is what Dr. Holmes said, and all the other mystics said when they wrote, you have all you need. They saw us as who we are, not what we do, not what we say. They saw us as spiritual beings, as emanations from God. So let us look at the first one, love. There is no other one. You see, we invented the other 6. We invented the other 6 in order to help us to understand number 1. The word love wasn't written in the English dictionary until 1936. Because we had no words to describe or to half describe or to begin to work that part of that energy into our life. And we can go to the dictionary and we can define the word love. And if that's what you feel, then you can feel something greater. Because love is beyond feelings. Love is beyond words. Love is beyond thinking. Love is beyond doing. However, it is through our doing, our thinking, and our being that we develop that part of our consciousness, which is the Christ consciousness. The song spoke of the greatest love as being inside of you, as you are spirit, the creator of your world. And if you have not given yourself enough love, you will experience part of your inherent quality. You will experience only part of your inheritance. God or spirit or the creator does not know anything but love. The law governing the spiritual being is love. And when we are not performing acts of love, our idea, whatever it is, whatever our idea is of love, then we are not expressing totally our being. There is a definition we find in the dictionary of love, but there is no description of love, as love is beyond all feelings and words. So it behooves us to simply sit down and look at, what do I believe about love? What is my feeling about love? What do I think love should be? And if it involves anybody else, that's not it. Love, or the Spirit of God within you, is who you are. And it is all that you are. That's why you're so magnificent. That's why you can do all the things that you do, because you are a spiritual being. Our second attribute of inherent quality is joy. We participate in activities. The season, the holiday just passed and the one coming up. We're going to parties and we're eating and we're meeting with friends and family. And oh, I had a great time with my family up north. And I looked around for the feeling of joy. And I could not describe how I felt with my family. There with my family, and we were reliving old stories about the family. If we have not loved ourselves enough, our original patterns, our prototypes, the Bible says our children, our relatives, our neighbors, our mothers and fathers, of our thought processes. Joy comes slowly. Also, our money substance and its derivative. Joy is symbolic meaning of money. Joy is the substance of money. Dr. Holmes said in treatment, to dissolve whatever the situation is or the event into substance. And the substance that he talked about was the energy from your spirit of love, joy, peace, beauty, life, and power. Remember last week we said that the language of the Spirit is the attributes of God. This is the language of the Spirit. And anytime that we're using those words, because we only need to speak the words, that's how spirits create, simply by speaking words. When we speak those words, that energy flows down through us from the top of our spirit, all the way through our body, out into our world. We said the language of the soul is images, and the language of the body is words. When we speak the word, the Lord takes a creative action according to the image we have of our desire and transmute it into the desired object. Our third attribute and inherent quality is peace. No one can describe peace to you or to me. The level of peace of spirit is beyond understanding. It is simply what we must decide for ourselves what is peaceful for me. Wisdom is our fourth attribute. We acknowledge facts, information, and opinions to bring us wisdom. It is up to us to develop the Christ consciousness so that that energy can come into us and heal our body and our world of affairs. Beauty, our fifth attribute, is in the eye of the beholder. And I found this to be the most correct definition of all, for it is up to the individual to decide what is beautiful through their eyes, and in so doing, move into a higher mind to experience the quality. Life, our sixth attribute. And when I describe life, I'm baffled, as life is so expansive. Life is, however, the breath we breathe, the breath we take into our bodies. Our last and essential characteristic is power. We've had more trouble with this attribute than any other of the attributes. We are conditioned to believe that power comes from outside of us. We have used authority, physical might, bullying, and force to bring us power. Since this is our unbelief about power, it is up to us to develop what we call the 7 ups, to feel divine power that comes from the Christ mind, thus witnessing the reappearance of the Christ. In closing, the reappearance of the Christ comes through the practice of the 7 ups. Our inherent belief system. This is all we believe again. And each time we speak those words, it erases what we call the 7 downs, or the unbelief system, or the opposites of those words. So as we move through this week, let us be aware of practicing those actions, those words, and reaching for a feeling that would be right for us to take us to the next level out of feeling. And as we move into the new year, let us carry with us one goal is to experience the reappearance of Christ in our life. Let us pray. Lord, teach me how to pray. And in so doing, may my prayers heal my world and the world around me. We bless everyone who came to create this consciousness, to receive that energy of peace, that essence of love within this hour, so that we may move through the coming year riding on the wings of love. And as you leave this place, you're guarded, guided, and protected, arriving at your destination safe and sound, remaining under the umbrella of love, divine peace, divine joy, wisdom, life, and power, until we meet again. And so it is. So let it be.